Today's video is all summer themed. This video is part of my Small Creators Sunday Challenge, and our theme for this month is Summer Lovin. Everything you'll see is based on summer. So stick around and get more information about the Small Creators Sunday playlist and see how I put all these little summertime crafts together. My first DIY isn't much of a DIY, really. I picked up this little sailboat at Family Dollar, which I believe they're also available at Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to put this guy together and get him ready to sail off into the summer. So I've took everything apart from the bag, and I'm going to use folk art acrylic, and this is Calypso Sky, and I'm going to assemble the parts that need to be glued together first before I do any painting. And it provides instructions. They're pretty easy to follow. It shows how to put it together. The mast goes in there and those little bits go in there, and etc., and so on and so forth. So I won't make you watch the whole process, but it's pretty easy. I mean, it was in the toy section, so if I can't figure it out, there's something wrong. So they provide the glue, just glue it together and get it assembled. So I'm just going to go ahead and fly through here painting. I wanted to make sure these were all the pieces that I wanted to paint. Not the part where I'm going to glue the string for the sails, which we'll get to in just a minute. One will go in the front, one goes in the back, and then the string will go through the top of the mast, and I glue the sails to the string, and the string will get knotted to those little poles. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and paint these first with some, I believe it was apple barrel white. I don't think I showed it on here. And then after I get those painted, then I'm going to use the Calypso Sky to paint on the sails as well. While the sails are drying, I've got the string through the mast, knotted to the other poles, and then I'm going to, I'm gonna name it. It's a sailboat, but I've heard it's bad luck to sail off on a boat without a name, so it needs a name. And I think I'm gonna give it a very special name. The name Calypso, after the color of the paint that I used to paint it. And so just using an ink pen, I wrote the name Calypso. I was pretty sure that I wouldn't have been able to cut letters small enough to fit on there with my Cricut. And I'm going to go ahead and put some little stripes on my sails with the same color. Nothing too extravagant because, well, I'm not that great at painting. But I wanted to give it a little extra something, so I just paint a couple little stripes on the sails just for a little added bonus. Now those are dry. I'm just using my hot glue gun to run a thin line of glue along the string to glue the sails on. Super quick and easy, and it was a fun little craft to do. You can design it however you want to match your summer decor, whatever colors, however you want to do it. And I only did the one side, figuring I'd probably only display one side of it anyway. So there it is. How cute. The Calypso. Now here I've got some flip-flops and a pool noodle and some ribbons, some other stuff, and I'm going to cut it down and glue it together to make a smaller wreath form. And from there, once it's glued together, hot glue and pool noodle equal melt, but I did get it to work and it did end up staying together just fine. took a little finesse, a little trying, but it got there. So once I'm done with that, then I'm wrapping the whole thing with burlap ribbon. It's all wrapped and ready to go, and I'm using these flip-flops on either side of the wreath form, and I used my Cricut to print out the words "Hello Summer." I'm sorry, cut out. And I'm just going to go ahead and put those down on the flip-flops. Gluing the flip-flops down to either side, and then I'm going to take some daisies that I got at, where did I get these? Family Dollar, I think. Just using some daisies that I got at Family Dollar. I've got pink and I got orange, and with those and some sunflower heads, I'm just going to glue also a bunch of flowers down. So I've got flowers glued on the top here, and now I'm going to use a whole bunch of different ribbon that I have to make a, I guess it's a fussy bow. I don't know if that's what you call it, but this ribbon particularly has an adhesive back to it because it's meant for scrapbooking. So I'm taking this and I'm going to use, not the pink, I'm going to use a blue ribbon on the back to cover up the adhesive and, I don't know, make it double-sided. So I'm just going to be cutting long lengths of this ribbon and trying to come up with a bow. So I've got my bow. I used a pipe cleaner to hold it together. I'm just going to go ahead and glue it down. It's not the prettiest bow, but it's got a lot of ribbon. And it doesn't all match, but hey. And I'm just going to glue some flowers down on top to, you know, kind of cover up the pipe cleaner there that I used to hold the bow together. And I'll just add some more flowers on the inside too. This is Small Creator Sunday, the challenge that I created for DIY YouTubers who are under 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube. I'm joined by Tammy of The Rusted Willow and Kshitich of DIY Savvy Mommy this month, our theme being Summer Lovin'. So everything you see on here today will be summer themed. If you're a DIY YouTuber and you want to participate in these challenges that are coming up, I host this every month on the third Sunday at noon Central Standard Time. Each month has a different theme. Next month, the theme is Baby Love. I have a new grandchild that is due next month, so all of the videos need to be baby themed. Keep an eye out for more information on that in a couple of weeks. For my final project, I'm taking these 2 glass bottles that had some Walden Farms, I think it was chocolate syrup, some kind of something sauce or whatever. Anyway, so I'm going to take these, I'm going to paint them up and give them the twine treatment and make them, you know, give them a little bit of a coastal feel. So first one I'm going to use Delta Ceram Coat in Surfboard as my color for these. In my first one, I'm going to mix some of the paint with Mod Podge satin finish, and the other one I'm just going to paint outright just to see what happens. But first I want to take some acetone, make sure I get all of the label peeled off and get all of the glass clean first. So using the Mod Podge satin finish and the Delta Ceram Coat Surfboard acrylic paint, I just go ahead and mix a little bit up in a cup and I'm going to put some on both bottles. On the second bottle, then I do end up just doing the paint alone on it. I was going for a sea glass finish and didn't really work out so well, but they turned out fine in the end anyway, so it's fine. But yeah, I'll just fly through this process and give them both a couple of coats of color. And I left the caps on, so I had something to stand them on to dry. Just going around and making sure that everything I want to be covered is covered. So I've got some jute twine and some decorative shells that I got from the Dollar General. And I'm going to, I don't know the name of the technique, but I'm going to tie it around the neck of the bottles. And then once I have that done, I will cut extra strands and tie those down lengthwise. And I'll pull strings together and tie knots, which I will show you. And I'll go, you know, all the way around in alternating pattern, I guess. I don't know what it's called. You guys know what it is, though. So I'm just tying, I've got 6 strands and I'm tying along the shorter one. So what I'll do here is I'll take the short one and tie it around the top. So then all of those longer strands will come down around the side, or you know, down around the bottle. So I'll just tie that in a knot there. And then once that's done, what I'll do is start working on the sides. And I do take hot glue and seal up all of the knots, you know, that I cut down or trim or whatever. And what I'm going to do then is pull 2 strands where I want them to be, and then I will tie them in a knot. Once I've got that first knot done where I want it, then I go around and tie 2 more knots with, you know, 2 more pieces of the twine. And then I'll move along to the next row, and where that is where I will pull 1 string from one part of the knot, and then I'll go to the next knot and pull another string. So this is the same technique that I have used to do like macrame plant hangers. I think it's probably one of the, you know, more popular. It's easy or whatever. But so I'm going to do that all the way around, all the way down for both bottles. And now that I have them wrapped up, I can go ahead and I'm just gonna glue these to the bottom. It's, you know, got kind of a concave bottom, so I can just put a little dab of glue there. It's not going to affect the way it sits, luckily. After I did this, I was kind of worried, but it ended up not making much difference at all. This string is pretty, you know, it's kind of thin, so it didn't make a whole lot of difference. And I burned my thumb, which is par for the course, so. Well, once the glue is set, then I can go ahead and trim everything up nicely. Make sure there's enough glue on there to hold all that string together. Now here I'm just gonna pick some little shells and just pop a few on with some hot glue. Nothing fancy. No, I'm not gonna go too over the top or anything like that. I'm not gonna cover the whole thing. I just want to put a few here and there. I don't you guys, I don't decorate for seasons, really. Like, I make stuff I like and it stays up, you know. I live in Texas. We have 2 seasons, hot and December. That's it. Y'all Texans, you know what I'm talking about. Seriously, we have 2 seasons. We have December and we have summer. That's it. So when it comes to decorating for the seasons, I just don't get into it. I don't really even decorate for the holidays either. I put up a tree. I put up stockings. I have nutcrackers. That's pretty much the extent of my Christmas decoration too. So, yeah. But I like making cool stuff, so that's why I'm here. And that's what I'm doing, and I like these. They're pretty cute. So I'm just, like I said, throwing some seashells down and just give them a little something. Here's the finished wreath. I think it turned out pretty cute. All summery. And here's the calypso and my other 2 vases. I think it's a cute little summery scene. Make sure you check out the rest of the playlist. The link is in my description box, as well as the links to DIY Savvy Mommy and the Rusted Willow. Go check out everybody. Spread the YouTubey goodness throughout the rest of the playlist. And if you haven't already, would you consider subscribing? And don't forget to leave likes and comments below and let me know what you think of these crafts. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.